Hello and welcome to another Sprues and Brews unboxing. Today we're going to look at the new Stormvault Skirmish case by Games Workshop. So first of all I want to say massive thanks to Games Workshop for sending us a free review copy to check out on the channel. Yeah, so it's been a while since we've had some new storage cases from Games Workshop. I was a fan of the really old ones that they did, the kind of like suitcase ones with the foam with the inserts in, and obviously a lot of models are bigger than what you can hold in those now. After those they moved to the big plastic ones with the trays that lifted out and had 2 layers of foam in each of them, and I've had those for a while now, so it's been a little while till we've got a new case design. And this is the Stormvault Skirmish case. It is a £35 case. That is not too big if you look at the size of my hand. This is designed for carrying your Warcry warband, kill team, armies, Necromunda gang maybe. If we look on the front of the box, we've got what, 12 miniatures in there, so we're not talking massive storage capacity. So what we're going to do in this video is have a look at what the makeup of this is, see how these kind of prong system works that it's got in here. Is it going to hold the miniatures in place? Is it going to damage them? So we'll look at that, see how it goes, and then I will be packing this up with a Warcry warband, travelling to Liverpool and seeing if they survive the trip and how they compare to some of the other case options we've got on the market, because let's not beat around the bush. 35 quid's expensive for a case. So I'm interested to see how this performs, because for that price I'd hope that the models stay in place and they don't slide around and they don't get damaged. So we'll be doing a bit of a field trip to make sure that it does what it says on the tin. So we flip over the box, we've got just a few images on here showing an assortment of Stormcast, some Space Marines and some cavalry in there too. I've got to say those cavalry look pretty tight in there. I don't even know if there's a standard bearer. There isn't, no, there's no standard on that picture, so it'll be interesting to see if those 5 would fit in with a standard. So again, we'll be trying some different miniatures and seeing just what we can fit in here. Now again, this isn't like army storage, this is more so for taking your skirmish warbands for your skirmish games to events and stuff, and it is a little case. It's kind of like lunchbox sized. So obviously you've got the advantage that you could just sling this into a bag, but obviously we'll look at all that as we go through it. So let's crack this open and see what is inside. So if we remove this back bit of card so we can get inside it, and we will see what this looks like in the flesh. So it's got an interesting dimpled kind of surface to it, so we've got like a plasticky indent there with the Warhammer logo on and some feet. Now the way this is together, that looks like 2 duplicated halves that go together. If we crack that open, we can see that it is 2 identical halves that then come together to make it. And inside we've got these like bristles. They are very weird to feel. Let's see if we've got a miniature to hand. So they, I guess, lock them in place, and then you know what? That is fairly secure in there. I guess this thing goes on the top of it in reverse. They lock together, and then you've got your miniature secure. You can pop it open, and hopefully he's inside still intact. So, I mean, that is just with a random miniature I had to hand. Now, obviously, one of the things we're going to have to see is, can you fit a whole warband in there? Because it is a very, very small box. I'm interested to see if these come in bigger sizes too eventually as well. Could they do one that's maybe double the size and then 4 times the size in order to carry multiple armies? Because if the solution was to buy multiple of these at £35 a pop, I don't think that's going to fly really. But yeah, interesting. It's not entirely secured all the way down, so it's got a bit of flex to it, which I guess aids with like any bumps or knocks. It's not going to pull on the miniature because they're kind of nestled in there. Yeah, it's really weird. The lid itself as well, it's hard to show on the video, but with those little rubber things it is non-slip as well, so I'm putting some pressure on there and it's not moving, meaning that when you're kind of like loading and unloading the miniatures, they're not going to get stuck. So Obviously this is a weird one to review because we need to see how miniatures survive on a few trips with this. So what I'm going to do is cut to the future. Do they survive the trip? Are they intact? Is any damage done to the miniatures? So we'll see how that turns out. So let's take a look at how stuff fits in this case. Now you can fit about 12 Space Marine size models in there. So again, this is very much designed for skirmish games, Warcry, Necromunda, stuff like that. So you're not going to fit a great amount in here, but as we'll see, it is really good at keeping these guys secure. The little bristles, I suppose the best word is, really do hold the models in place. And we'll do a little shake test in a minute. I've done a couple of trips now with models in this case, and they are really good at staying in position in here. If we put in maybe a larger model, like an Ogre 2, just to show a different range of models in there, clip the top back onto it, and we will give this a shake around, spin it round. This could just be sitting in your bag, on your bike or on your backpack if you're going around. We'll open this back up again, and the models are still within their thing. This one slipped a little bit there, but on the whole, all of these guys have stayed, where they were put. They've not been like crashing into each other or anything, which is really good for one of these cases. I suppose the big question is this worth the money? Now, I think this case is very much aimed at a particular type of person. Obviously, if you've got a car and you're driving to a tournament, a lot of people just use really useful boxes with some magnetic sheeting or even just blue tack in it to transport their models. That's really, really easy. However, if you are travelling on foot or by bike or by train, it's not necessarily the best solution because it is hard to carry those boxes within something else. They're probably not going to fit in a backpack unless you've got a really big one. They're certainly not going to fit in like a satchel or something that you just throw your kind of books and dice into. And that's where this case has got a big advantage. If, say, you are biking to a tournament that's nearby or walking around to your friend's house and you've just got a satchel over your shoulder with your rules and your tokens in, this box is small enough to just slip into that. Likewise, if you're going on the train as well, some of those cases can be big, quite big and cumbersome, even for the skirmish scale ones. I forget what they're called, but the current boxes that Games Workshop do, they're quite chunky with the 2-tier foam in. They're really good cases, but again, they're a little bit big for travelling on the train or walking anyway, because you've got to carry them. Where this is small enough to fit inside your bag, which is really, really good. Now, the downside is the price tag of this one. At £35, I do feel it is a little bit too expensive for what it is. If this was in like the £25 bracket, I think this would be a no-brainer for, if you're playing Warcry or Necromunda or, Kill Team or something at an event, because it is, small enough to just stick your Kill Team in, throw your books and your tokens in your bag, and not really have to worry about it. They don't really shift around, when they're inside there. They're not going to get all jumbled up. Like, even with magnets and blue tack, that can happen with really useful boxes and stuff, especially if you hit bumps in the road and stuff. So I found that actually travelling with this has been really good. Now, obviously, another downside is if you're not playing a skirmish level game, this is going to be way too small for you. You can fit about 12 Space Marines in here. You can fit 5 Ogres in here. I did manage to fit the new Ogre Gorge or Warband in here, and again they stayed in position while I was moving around an hour's drive to get these somewhere else. They were absolutely fine when I got to the other side. Cavalry can fit as well. Now, things like banners and stuff you're going to have to account for because, like I say, the case is not that big. So you might have to be a little bit inventive with stuff that is particularly big in there. But again, if you've just got a kill team or a Necromunda gang or something like that, you are going to be able to fit this in here, and that is really good for that. So yeah, that is a look at the new Stormvault case. Again, it's a funny one. It's a really good case. I think the price is a little bit on the high side, and it's not for everyone. If you are walking somewhere or getting the train and using public transport, then this is definitely worth a look though, because like I say, it's quite a slimline profile, which makes it really easy to just throw in your bag. I do wonder if we're going to get any bigger ones that use this kind of prong system, but again, I really do think this is suited for those skirmish games. And really, I think GW probably seen that a lot of people use other cases for bigger collections. This is a bit of a niche that they had left on, you know, how to transport these armies in a small form factor. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, why not give us a follow? We do lots of unboxings and reviews and stuff like that. We've also got a video up to date unboxing the new Legion Astartes battle group, the new Heresy set with the Mark III Marines and the Dredio Dreadnought in it. So that's really cool. Then over on the website as well, we've got some write-ups of this, the battle group, and the new Exemplary Battles in the Age of Darkness expansion for Horus Heresy as well. So head over to spruesandbrews.com to check that out. If you would like to support the site as well, we do have an affiliate link to Element Games, which you can find in the description. If you use that, we get a little bit of a kickback that helps support the site. But until next time, I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.